brought in an offshore team through a large organization.
Okay, and what were some of the initiatives you took to automate or improve the IT systems?
Well, so we were working when I joined the organization in 1999. We were working on technology that was okay for 1999, but to move away from and do an infrastructure refresh, we had to look for products that would help us get to where we wanted to go in the long run. So I would look for off-the-shelf solutions that satisfy problems that are already off-the-shelf software, that not to build what you can buy. So that I think there's a term for that, and I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but to buy software where you can and build where you can't. So anything in our internal workflow, I would look for software and not build custom software. Say, for example, for accounting software. Why would I want to build custom software? We used to have custom accounting software, and I convinced, and this was not easy, working with our business units, that you need to use canned off-the-shelf software for accounting. We shouldn't be trying to build custom accounting software. I guess that's kind of the approach. That is the approach I would take and did take. And as we evolved, then we moved into another era where, some of this canned software we can replace with some open source and train up our team a little bit in this open source world. That's kind of where we're at right now. We have some off the shelf, some open source, and some custom software.
I see. And while instituting all these changes, what did you do to stay up to date with industry trends and then implement them within the company?
Well, I mentioned this in my resume, or I tried to, that I do attend conferences, and I work. I'd go into online training. I also have a master's degree, which I didn't get until 2017, which I think was very helpful for me, having an undergraduate degree from the 80s. Throughout my career, I've worked on certifications. I had an Oracle certification, I have a Unix, a Solaris certification. Again, those are older things. I don't know if you mention that kind of stuff or not, because it's old and I didn't keep it up. I'm currently working on my Certified Information Systems Security Professional certification, but I can't put it on my resume because I don't anticipate having it until September or October. So I'm usually working on something along those lines. I've competed in data science, women in data science competitions with Kaggle. Just different things, and rallied a group of women in my department to compete with me as a team. I don't know.
Yeah, these are all great initiatives, and to learn new things about the industry. And it's definitely good to include any certifications that are related to the industry. And with regards to your information, with regards to the certification that you're pursuing right now, we can add in a little note that says that the certification is in progress. And we can also definitely add the Kaggle competitions as well, since it's a good initiative. And if you think you have any other, you took part in any other initiatives like that, you can email those to me after the call as well.
Okay.
Okay, great. So that's that. And then with regards to implementing new solutions in the company, you mentioned that you also manage conflicts between teams or people, right? So, can you talk about that process? How did you manage different expectations of all the stakeholders?
And where did I put that? I want to see, make sure I answer that.
Uh, I,
Conflict.
b- I believe you mentioned it a few minutes before during this call that you also uh, did
Okay.
conflict agreement. Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever you're trying to make a move from one platform to another, you're going to have to make some business changes, some business process changes.
Mm.
And I try to be very transparent that things are going to change and work with the business units that they don't, so they're not so, they get very paranoid. Change can mean that maybe my job is not valued anymore or I don't have enough authority. So I try to um, make everyone feel comfortable. They understand what's coming. They're involved. They get to they participate in decisions, but at the same time, I have to be pretty stern with the fact that you will have to change, and
Yeah.
even with evidence, data evidence that this will change and this is why, and it had at times have to move that decision up the food chain to the executive level if there's a conflict and accept the outcome of that, whether it's in my favor or not in my favor.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. People management is also a major part of uh, a managerial role that involves change, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
there even in my team right now, what the best thing for knowing each person and how they take things, mention often, uh, talk about it openly. So that's kind of my MO, to
Mhm.
continuously talk about it so that it becomes normal. We're going to use this database. It's not what we're used to, but we're going to use it. Get some training. Give me your ideas. Here's two different ones. Which one? So try to involve the people in the decision and lead them the way that I think we should be going, but be open to the fact that maybe I'm not right all the time and have to um, change my ways too, my direction.
Mm. That's great. That's great. And by the way, how many teams and stakeholders did you collaborate with?
The amount of teams is probably five or six um, different business units.
Hmm. See. And what about outside third-party vendors or suppliers?
What was that? I don't understand your question. So what
What
was?
about vendors or suppliers? Did you have to directly collaborate with them too?
Yes, we have as often as we can have a vendor who specializes in the technology that we're moving towards. And usually we'll have, hopefully, our goal is always to have two or three vendors so we can rotate
Mhm.
around vendors because you can learn something new. For example, our enterprise content management system, we've gone through three different vendors and have one that we favor over the other two after doing that. With our we use Informatica products, and we've gone through multiple vendors with that software because they have staff that turns over too, and they're they might not have as good of a team the second time around as they did the first.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Um, so, while dealing with these vendors, what did you do to maintain good relationships with them?
Well, it takes a little practice, but being incredibly direct, and not really. beating around the bush or mincing words. Just blunt but professional.
Yeah.
If they're meeting expectations or not meeting expectations, it's being very direct and not waiting um, when when there's an issue, but bringing everybody in. I've had some uh, projects that haven't gone as well as I'd hoped, not because of lack of effort on my part, but they just didn't have the right team members. And I mean, it just ended up not finishing up well. And I
Mhm.
won't use that vendor again. But yeah, there's nothing I could do about it. Just kept calling them in. This is not what I asked for. This is what I asked for. This is what you're giving me. And just stop the project. That's just it. I have to stop the project.
Mhm.
I've had good. I mean, also good stuff. I mean, we had one recently where